Welcome
All
to
right. Well,
game
looks like
three.
they're starting.
We're tied at 1-1. And this match is first to 2.5 points. And Kearney had the higher ranking in the regular season, so they get to go first. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. All right. So we got specialist again. We got King's Court and specialist.
Yeah, Kearney is the 2 seed. Chatteteo is the 6 seed.
Specialist gains a copy of King's Court. Yeah, that's pretty
Or you
wild.
King's Court specialist and then gain King's Court and gain 3 King's Court. The person who's playing King's Court on specialist on King's Court has already won the game.
Yeah, yeah. So first person to get to a King's Court and a specialist in the same hand wins, basically.
Yeah. Do they?
So then the question is, what's the fastest way to get there?
Um,
There's not a lot of great ways to ramp up to seven to that real quick here. We got a 2-5 open for Koehni.
I'm clicking on Fisherman. I'm never thinking about Embargo here. I don't think.
Yeah, I think I like Fisherman over Embargo for sure.
Um, I think Augurs could be helpful if you're the one who gets the. If you can get some Sybils, those can help with the draw. Draw is a
Yeah,
big
but
issue here. I want to play King's Court on. I want to play King's Court on Fisherman. Basically, is the card I want to King's Court here.
yeah, I mean, I just feel like the problem for me is I think Herb Gather's just too slow. Like, I don't think it's gonna help. Coven is just not good here at all.
Yeah, Coven seems very very slow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he did hit five here. I mean, I guess you could try and like either special or King's Court Coven if you could somehow get one of those two out. It just your opponent has 10 curses, they're just screwed. But
Again, your King's Court specialist thing cards in your hand. I think you've already won the game at that point.
yeah,
Um,
so what's he gonna embargo? That's an interesting. I don't think I would have gotten embargo here, but now it looks really interesting.
well, I think you wanted to
I mean,
embargo Coven.
I guess I don't know. I guess what would you get with the first five here? Like, 'cause I mean, my instinct is to say Coven isn't very good, but with the interesting, they're both going Coven. This
Sad
could end up being a lot more of a slog
sad
than
specialist, I
I
think,
thought
is
it
my
was going to
answer
be.
on a 5. Um,
I definitely don't think I like being the second player to get Coven. I think you just have to hope you can ramp up before their Covens strike
yeah, maybe you get a
versus trying to
Mystic
play
over
a
a
mirror.
specialist, but I think I just want to get Fisherman, a bunch of Fishermen and specialists into the deck, and then try to spike a King's Court that way.
Yeah, the fact that they both opened Embargo and Lighthouse and not Fisherman seems very odd to me.
Yeah, and Acolyte seems really terrible here, unless they're going to use it to gain Sybil or something later.
I
That
mean, I
feels
assume
really
that's
slow.
the plan, but they both got acolytes. All right, this is going to end up being a lot slower than I think I would have expected.
Yeah, gold is not a good card in these decks, and it blocks them from buying a Fisherman. Well, I guess. Um, yeah, this is a really tricky kingdom. I think you open with Fisherman, um, and you get some Mystics, some Specialists, and then you hope King's Court. You try to get up to a King's Court and King's Court Fisherman to get big hand sizes. But certainly this is a slow
All right, we
kingdom.
do see a specialist now at least.
Yeah.
All right, they both have a specialist now. So we could get a King's Court here from Coney.
Oh, certainly. I'm very
So
happy to
that's
get a
pretty
King's
nice that
Court.
he gets the King's. So even though, obviously we don't think gold was great here, it did kind of work out. But I mean,
Yeah.
the problem is even if he gets the King's Court, like he doesn't have that many good action to do it with. Like,
Yeah, we'll add some more actions this shuffle. Now that we've got the King's, now that we spiked the King's Court, I think we're pretty happy. We'll add in some Mystics, or honestly, Fisherman is probably better at 5 than Mystic.
yeah, I
Chatteteo
think
has the sad draw.
Fisherman's just the best thing to King's Court because you're just gaining the cards, right? Like
Yeah.
you'd much rather King's Court or Fisherman. Although I guess there's not really extra buys here. Now that I look at it, like now that I
Herb
look at
Gather
this, so I guess
has
Herb
some
Gather,
buys.
and only one of them got an Herb Gatherer, right?
Yes.
So that actually could be really huge. So okay, so Koehni should be way ahead here then.
I mean, it's going to be a long game, I think.
But I mean, Koehni already has the King's Court. He's the only with the Herb Gather to get 2 buys. Like he doesn't have Chatteo's gonna have no way to cycle back to Herb Gather.
Ooh, contract here. Contract and then Acolyte. That's nice. Oh no, gold. You play the contract, you get a favor, and then you can top deck your King's Court. I guess with the gold, you can buy another King's Court.
Buy another King's Court, yeah.
I thought the contract was also going to be too slow.
Or why are they getting lighthouses here? Like
they're really worried about curses.
The Coven curses, I don't know. I just feel like you could outrace a Coven here.
Somehow it's turn 9 and they've got 5 curses already, though. I'm not quite sure how they're...
Well, that's because both of them got Covens. I think if you just let your opponent do the Covens,
I mean, but Koehni has 5 curses already.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but I think you can outspeed the Coven rush here.
I mean, they're going to have 7 curses at the end of next turn.
Well, you got King's Court Specialist, so...
I guess it's the best case, right? You Specialist King's Court, you Coven 3 times, then you gain a King's Court.
Yeah.
But you're about to get cursed yourself very, very soon. And you don't have enough action density to make this King's Court thing work.
And you just have the draw. Both players are going to be dunning a lot here. Because, think about it. What draw do either player have right now in their deck? Literally at all.
One Fisherman.
One Fisherman is literally the only draw in either player's deck right now. I actually don't know if I don't even know if I like this King's Court buy.
I honestly don't think that was lucky for Koehni. I think this is giving out 3 curses is actively bad for them. The curses are gonna drop and the deck's gonna be bad.
But so this is gonna be. They're just both gonna be dunning every turn now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that 4th King's Court. You have 3 King's Courts. You need something to draw with them.
Herb Gatherer is kind of draw. If you squint real hard.
I guess you're hoping to get to Sybil.
Why did we not Specialist a Lighthouse? I would have gained another Lighthouse. I think it's important to have
the province already
to have Lighthouse coverage.
Well, this should be pretty good for Coven, that should be because he can cycle. Why did he not cycle to Sybil? Okay, he did cycle Sybil. It just happened after. Got it. That makes sense.
So I think we just top deck Sybil somewhat sadly, and hope to collide it with King's Court.
Yeah, I agree.
Top decking King's Court seems to...
Okay, he did. All right.
And we found it.
This was a very good draw for Koehni.
Yeah. And now it's just of terrible importance. You get a Lighthouse into play every turn for the rest of the game. But this, I think, is a game-winning draw. I mean, they had a lot of them. 100%. But...
Because, you can bottom
we're going to King's Court Sorceress,
bottom deck
too.
Estates.
I assume we're going to King's Court Sorceress at the end of this.
Remember, the attack card doesn't do anything.
Oh, they have Lighthouse in play.
Chatteteo a Lighthouse. So I think you King's Court a Specialist and just gain a bunch of Specialists. You could King's Court Coven just for the money.
King's Court Herb Gatherer.
Yeah, and King's Court Herb Gatherer for the buys. Whatever you do, you don't rotate the piles.
King's Court Sorceress is draw if you want to do that.
Yeah, that is true. You're Specialist King's Court, and then you get to King's Court 2 things. I don't think you need another King's Court. I think you just King's Court 2 things here.
Certainly the first one is Sorceress. Because you have more King's Courts in the deck, right? And I have just now peered up at Chatteteo's hand.
Yeah, it's bad. I didn't look at it either. I agree. If you could get... I actually don't know if you want 3. I wonder if 2 is better just to prevent... because I think to some extent you don't want Chatteteo gabbing a herb. I mean, obviously this is knowing his hand, but like I think Chatteteo is in real trouble if he doesn't get an herb gather. So I think 2 Sibyls is great here.
I think I'm okay taking 2 Sibyls and
Oh wait, that was all 4. So maybe
yeah.
you don't actually want.
I think it's
2
fine.
then.
Like Chatteteo's got to waste a whole turn buying an herb gatherer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in this situation, that's like the perfect card for Chatteteo because he only has 3. But you are right that, yeah, I mean, this Koehni should win this easy. I don't think it's even that close.
I mean, the issue is if they don't get a Lighthouse down here and they get cursed,
But the curses are going to hurt Chatteteo almost worse than Koehni. They're even on it right now.
But it's curses in deck that matter. If Chatteteo has Lighthouse coverage, then, which actually they don't. They're going to get dropped here.
They're going to have 5 each now, right?
But I mean, it's the number of curses in deck and not the number of curses in exile. So Koehni found.
Yeah, I agree.
Koehni found the Lighthouse. I would not have played that Herb Gatherer. I think the average strength of your deck, the rest of that deck is pretty high. You've got Sibyls and all your King's Courts down there, but I would not have played the Herb Gatherer. Province.
I don't know if you need the province yet. I feel like you can just build to a double or triple or something.
Yeah.
I guess money, you don't have much money, but...
I also want more specialists now. And Fisherman,
for sure.
which are still... I guess once we have Sibyls, then the Fisherman is less useful. Yeah, we're seeing here, Koehni triggered discarded their deck with all their King's Courts in it. And now they have to search for the King's Courts again, whereas if they'd not discarded the deck last turn... They didn't even use the plus buy. Although they did use the favor, I guess, and then use that to top deck. Is Sorceress useless here? I mean, I guess it's a cantrip.
Ooh.
This is nice. We top deck a King's Court for next turn.
I guess that's true. I guess you could top deck King's Court. And then
but we did not get a Lighthouse in play. So...
I don't think that's as big a deal as you seem to think, because, like, I mean, 5 curses for Chatteteo is probably going to hurt worse than Koehni, is it not? Like,
I mean, it still hurts.
I'm not convinced it does. Like, well, I guess you didn't exile. I guess I was thinking exile from both players for some reason. I'm stupid. You're right, that having 5, okay, so you're definitely right.
But I think Koehni did this themselves by playing Herb Gatherer last turn. They could have just not played Herb Gatherer, I think, and been in better shape here.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I think
we have another Sibyl down here. Is that right? Maybe it doesn't matter. We can specialist.
I don't think they do.
We can specialist King's Court now.
I believe they played all 3 because they played 2 last turn.
Okay. Yeah. So specialist King's Court now.
Yeah.
And then triple the
and you
Sorceress.
King's Court, probably. Oh no, he just is King's Court in King's Court. I mean, I guess... But then what are you going to specialist it on? I feel like... I guess he's specialisting contract and... I don't know. This doesn't seem great. I mean, I guess he is going to have a lot of favor, so he can basically guarantee every time he shuffles, he sees, like, King's Court. Because you could order it multiple times, right? So you could pretty much guarantee you see King's Court. Oh, it's only 1?
Oh, per favor you spend.
I was thinking,
yeah, so you can spend as many as you want. So you can put King's Court Sibyl on the top.
King's Court Sibyl on the top every time. So you can basically guarantee you start every single turn now with King's Court Sibyl on the top. Why an Acolyte? What does an Acolyte do for you here?
Trashing curses slowly.
But, like, just get a specialist.
Oh no, Acolyte can't even trash curses.
Top deck 2 Sibyls instead of top decking King's Court Sibyl. That seems interesting. I mean, it worked out, but that seems like you'd rather just King's Court 1 Sibyl than 2 Sibyls.
Yeah, that must be correct. So the nice thing about the King's Court Sibyl is you just stack the curses at the bottom of the deck, and if you find the Herb Gatherer, you flip them at the end. And really hope you don't bottom deck the Herb Gatherer. Although...
Because you only have 1, or you might even have 2 by this point. I don't know.
Did they gain 1? They specialized 1 last turn, I think.
No, they each only
they
have
played
one
it
because
twice.
Chatteteo just played one.
So, yeah, I mean, even then you have one dud, and I think...
I mean, Cody should be able to win this turn. Is that crazy? I guess, can he triple profit?
I do not.
I don't know if he has the money for triple.
Triple is possible.
He doesn't have a lot of money.
If they line up their deck in, like, King's Court,
I mean, if you King's Court Coven, King's Court Contract, that's...
You can't King's Court Contract.
12. Yeah, you can. Or not, you can Specialist Contract. Yeah, so that's only 4 then.
But you can King's Court Specialist and play play Contract twice, play Gold twice. Like, it's possible. Yeah, I mean, if you Gold twice, Contract twice is 10, 16 with Coven. It's doable if you draw the deck right.
Yeah, I mean, either way, if you get a province here, yeah, I mean, look at Chatteo's hand. Ouch. Yeah, exactly. Chatteteo has 0 card draw. Like, maybe I think he has 1 Sybil, maybe?
Yeah,
I'm not
one
even
Sybil.
sure. And I mean, look at that hand.
Why are we not King's Court in King's Court?
I was just thinking the same thing.
There's almost never a reason not to King's Court, right? Like, it's almost always the right...
Yeah, I can't think of any. I mean, I guess maybe with Specialists you don't want to King's Court it because you want to play the Specialist to gain 1.
We don't have the Specialist in hand. And we have more King's Courts in the deck. This is... We're missing out on a huge number of King's Court plays here.
Yeah.
We're missing out on, like... I'm pretty sure with this draw, we easily pile out if we King's Court.
Yeah, I think so. I think he still probably has a pile out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has a pile out anyways. What's that? 9, 12.
We need to find the Specialist
14,
and we're out of King's Court plays.
Plus 6. He's only at 20. No, I still have 1 more King's Court.
I mean, we could just have a lot more King's Court.
You could have had the pile out for sure. Now I think it's a lot closer.
We need to play some sorcerers. Like, if we don't find the Specialist here.
Yeah, if you don't find the Specialist.
How do we not find the Specialist?
If you find the Specialist.
Do we not know what all 9 cards in the bottom of the deck are at this point?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Because I think, how many times have they played Sybil? Oh, they played the special. They played Specialist on Lighthouse. It's not in the shuffle.
Oh, that is not great.
But they could have King's Courted multiple things.
14. Yeah, so they can only get to 20. Oh, they can get to 23. That looks like they're 1 short. Oh, actually, yeah.
Why did King's Court the Herb Gatherer?
Instead of the Coven.
Oh, they wanted the buys. Okay. They wanted 4 buys.
Yeah, I guess it's true. You wouldn't have had the buys anyway.
But again, if we King's Courted King's Courts at the beginning of that chain, we would have had 25.
Yeah. I mean, either way, the game's over.
Okay.
Chatteteo just resigned. All right.
Cody takes the lead,
well,
and we move on to
P1 OP, I guess.